Alright, hi everyone. I'm sorry I can't be in the lesson today. My children are not very well, so I'm at home looking after them. What I thought I would do is produce a short little video just to give you an idea of what we're looking for in terms of a development of this kind of mark making exploration that you started in your first lesson. And what I'm going to do is just demonstrate my sketchbook over here, what I'm hoping you will be able to produce today and then also for prep between now and your next lesson. So this is really about, as I kind of explained, I think, or whoever took your first lesson explained to you, creating what we're thinking of as a dictionary of mark making. So in other words, when you're expressing your ideas visually, okay, what are the languages, what are the kind of terms that you're using, what are the kind of the visual signs and types of mark that you're using to express those ideas. And it will be different depending on what your project is. So somebody like Toby Schillerbeer, who at the end of last year started making this kind of geometric sculpture that looked almost like some strange piece of architecture or building, lots of straight lines and kind of geometric shapes. That project is going to have a completely different visual language to a different project that, say, is to do with kind of rotting fruits and kind of decomposing things and nature changing over time. Something like Anna Waterman's project, for example, is all about kind of change and time and transformation in that way. That's going to be very different. So if we just come around here and I'll just show you what I've got in front of me. So you don't need a page like this. This is just really a reminder of what I'm asking you to do. Okay, so we're looking for a dictionary of mark making, and this is about defining a visual language for your ideas. We started to explore things, what your different kind of things in your pencil case could do in the last lesson, and maybe you continued that at home. But now we're going to start thinking very specifically about your project. So I'm hypothetically here working on a project which I've given the title Transformation and Decay. So in other words, what I'm trying to do is express some ideas and create some images or some objects which are representing and reflecting this theme. So I've got all my stuff here in front of me, and now I really need to start assembling this in a way that makes some kind of sense. So first of all, I'm going to start with my pencil. Transformation, okay, decay. Well, this is going to be marks. I'm going to consider marks which kind of change in their nature over time. Okay, so a mark which might start kind of edgy and scratchy like this and pressing quite hard, might start to kind of dissolve and become less clear as it kind of moves across the page, so it starts to disintegrate. I might try that again actually, but change the way in which I hold the pencil, so deliberately alter the control that I have over that thing to get it to do something different. And this idea of kind of altering the weight of my mark making, this is quite important actually. To go with those little mark experiments, I'm going to put some notes on here as well. Okay, so I'm going to put fading over time. Okay, I'm going to put changing the weight and pressure of the mark. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've got one type of language, okay, which is the language of my pencil making these abstract marks. Okay, that's one way of expressing an idea. Here I'm trying to kind of capture that in written language, in words. Okay, so two different languages, both referring to the same kind of idea. This is what we are looking for. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, let's try this kind of felt pen. I don't even know if this works. Let's just see. Okay, yeah, this is cool. So I'm going to try a similar thing with this felt pen now. Okay, so it's going to start quite strong and intense and then kind of maybe just get lighter fading over time, and if you look, I'm kind of barely holding that at all now. Maybe just let it kind of do its own thing. Okay, and all of this is genuine kind of exploration of what these things can do. Right, so it's not just kind of scribbling. I'm really consciously thinking about what I'm actually doing here. You notice how when I'm doing this kind of thing, I'm gripping it quite tightly, right, like a pen. Okay, and then as I move away from there, you know, the whole grip changes, and therefore the nature of the mark changes. Really important. I'm just going to quickly, in this little glass cup here, just put a little bit of water as well, because you can get other forms of change. So that's kind of quite interesting, but it's very, very similar to this. Let's just think about this material, the pen, the water-based pen. If I kind of dab a little water onto there as well, okay, move it around with my fingers. You see, that's pretty cool actually. And a mark like that could be actually really useful to me as my project and my ideas develop. That could, you know, take us somewhere really, really interesting. I'm going to kind of encourage you as well to think quite experimentally. So in the back of my book here, I'm just going to tear a strip of paper off, give myself this torn edge here. Let's go back to using my pencil. Let's see what happens. Oops. I start to kind of draw across something like this, and again I'm going to change the pressure, take that off a little bit over time. Maybe kind of offset that slightly. How does that look? Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Maybe like a tear or a rip. Okay. And what I could do is, if I've got a glue stick in my pencil case, I could stick that in place. And all the time, wow, look at what's happening with the colour here. Yeah? Okay, so unpredictable things start to happen when you do stuff like this as well, which, you know, that is kind of, accidents like this are the kind of the lifeblood of kind of creativity in a way, right? So what am I going to say about this? I mean, this is amazing. So I'm going to write, you know, kind of dissolving. Yeah, kind of evaporating. Like smoke, whoops. Ah, come on, pen. Like smoke vanishing into air. Okay. Like, and then I'm gonna, so that's quite interesting because I'm comparing it to something. All right, I'm starting to use simile here, okay, which I know you all understand because you've done it in your English lessons. So I'm kind of thinking, here's a way of describing the mark, and that mark is like something else. Okay, what else is it like? Well, okay, I'm just going to have a little kind of arrow over here. Yeah, like anger dissipating, which I can't spell. Dissipating. Let's go for that, and then somebody can tell me if I've got it right later. Okay. So I'm starting to kind of really think deeply. It's the thinking that's important here, okay? The kind of the investigating, the intellectual engagement with what you're doing. Yes, your materials are a little limited at the moment, and that's not going to last forever. And all of the kind of investigation and the kind of exploration that you're doing at this stage will only kind of lead to more kind of wonderful possibilities later on, okay? This is quite good. I'm going to extend a kind of a line here, okay, transformation and decay, okay, look again, you know, a journey, okay, a pathway. All right, and we're not kind of predicting too much kind of, you know, sort of where we're heading with things at the moment. We are simply just reflecting what's our title, what's our theme, what kind of marks do we want to be at play within that. You know, let's keep going. pencil here. Just realised I've got a rubber on the table, which is another kind of way of, take that away. You know, kind of traces left behind. Oops. Ghosts. All right. So the focus of today's lesson is this, okay? It's about sophistication. Now, Jade's going to cover your lessons today. She's going to come around and see what you're doing. She's going to talk to you about what you're doing as well and really encourage you to start being clever and intelligent about the sorts of comments that you are making. Your prep is going to be to extend this at home as well. I promise I will put that on Show My Homework this time, because in some classes I forgot to do it last week, so my apologies. And that's it, okay? So good luck, work hard with it. Hopefully I'll see you pretty soon anyway. Yeah, just remember experimentation, don't get too precious, you know, but take pride in creating interesting pages in your sketchbook.